Outside dig and really just focus on the footwork of that action. Now, to do this, I'm going to start in a drop because that's a very, very easy way to set up. And so a drop, the ball will be in my outside hand, outside foot would be forward, inside foot would be back, and I'm using the mat to hold myself accountable to space. Now, the concept of an outside dig is instead of this foot going forward, I actually want to drive that foot at a backward angle. Now, that doesn't mean back behind my body. The whole concept of a dig is my feet stay underneath my hips so I can gain acceleration and explosion. But the advantage of being able to take this foot and be able to reposition it slightly back and drive it into the floor at a downward angle is it points my knee more towards the floor, so now I'm at a more aerodynamic angle to drive. I've heard strength coaches call that finding shin angles. But what I like to just simply focus on is just being able to get your knee more at a downward angle. And so I want my knee to point towards the floor. So instead of just rocking that knee forward, I drive that foot back and it creates that natural position. So during our drop, what I want you to be able to focus on is either already being in this position. So if I'm already there, let's say I'm going through my legs, I can outside dig and go, or I could actually drop and then dig, which would be more of an advanced way to perform it. So however you do it is up to you, but you really want to just make sure that you're able to reposition that foot, drive it down so I can find that angle to go. And so in our breakdown right now, make sure that you're already in that stance. You're able to drop that foot back slightly, getting it more underneath your hips. That is your outside dig with your outside foot. So obviously there's different ways that you can do that. When you're performing it left, obviously now it's your outside foot is your left foot. Being able to drive that foot underneath your hips would be an outside dig, and it literally lets you reposition and find more of an explosive stance. Now, this type of footwork can be used in multiple situations. It's not about talking about what situation you're going to use it. It's just making sure that you know what it is. Once you have a dig in your game, the hope is, and since you've worked on it, is that you will naturally pick and choose moments in the game to use a dig according to your own playing style and preferences. So don't worry about when you're going to use it yet. Just make sure you're working on your dig. So spend 20 minutes working on your outside dig, whether or not you're going to the basket, whether or not you're getting shots, or you're just simply repping it out and then repeating it as a breakdown. All of that is up to you. Just make sure you're really working on your outside dig and making sure your technique is sound.